Welcome this evening to the annual induction ceremonies for the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. My name is Chris Hodges, and I have the honor of being your MC tonight. In a previous life, I was the CTV Regina sports guy, and in my time at CTV, I had the opportunity to cover the athletic exploits of a couple of our inductees tonight, and it's wonderful to see that all of our inductees are here in attendance tonight. It is an absolute honor to be asked to be the MC of this. I have always said that this is one of my favorite events in the Regina Sports calendar for a couple of different reasons. I think it's fantastic, the level of togetherness that this event always brings. Anyone who's dedicated their life to sports as an athlete or a builder can attest that family support is paramount to achieving their own levels of success. It may very well be our newest inductees that get the parchment and the pin from Frank here tonight, but none of them would be in the position to be recognized without the unwavering support of parents and spouses and siblings and their children along the way. So again, it's wonderful to have everyone here in the room this evening. Now, I was told that there was a bit of a parade of the past inductees, and it begins with Frank Kovacs, an athlete in the sport of hockey, Marlene Hoffman, a builder in volleyball. They're turning this into a test. Dick White, builder, has no paper, unprepared. Carol Lafayette Boyd in athletics. Kim Burgee, athlete in judo and wrestling. Glenn Ficula, builder in basketball. Jim Park, an athlete in rally sports. John Hoffman, builder in bowling. Doug McCaw, also a builder in bowling. Hey, Don McDougall, a multi-sport builder. As is George Watson. Doug Mader, an athlete in golf. And Roald Thompson, athlete in racquetball. At this point, I would once again like to bring Frank Kovacs back up to the stage. Frank, as the president of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, will bring welcoming greetings on behalf of the board of directors.
All right, thank you, Chris, for your introduction. So as Chris mentioned, I am the president of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, and I'm very proud to be a part of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame as a past inductee and now as a president. For the 16th straight year, this Regina Sports Hall of Fame is honoring people who have contributed to sports within the city by inducting them into the hall. There are now 90 inductees into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. 38 athletes, 35 builders, 13 teams, and 4 patrons. There are also 150 honorary members with Regina connections who had previously been inducted into the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame. The Regina Sports Hall of Fame is a non-profit organization that was formed to honor athletes, builders, teams, and patrons who have contributed to sports in Regina. I would like to take this time to congratulate this wonderful class of 2018 inductees. What you have all achieved or given to your sport is remarkable, and you are very well deserved of being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I was thinking today of what does a Hall of Fame mean to people? I think the most common answer would be to honor athletes, teams, builders, or patrons that dominated in their sport or gave a lot of themselves to their sport. Other answers might be to recognize excellence, or it may be bringing back good memories of athletes they used to watch. There are so many answers to this question. Many of us growing up had a role model in our life, someone we looked up to and wanted to be like. That role model could have come in the form of a parent, a teacher, a youth worker, an athlete, a police officer, etc., etc. I believe that the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is also a form of role model for the youth in our city. Our display is in a very busy location in the Cooperators Hockey Rink, and a lot of youth are in contact with our display on a weekly, if not daily, basis. The youth will see all of our inductees on the board and will have a chance to see and read how they excelled in their sport. They will also have an idea of how inductees got their name on that board and what it took to get there. Each person who becomes the best at their sport or job or career, etc., has the same characteristics: passion, desire, work ethic, focus, discipline, sacrifice, and last but not least, to be able to get along with others and be a part of a team. I hope that the Regina Sports Hall of Fame can give the youth in our city that hope, and if not a goal, to be the best at whatever they do. I do believe that most people who are successful in sport usually are successful in their lives outside of sport as well. Those same characteristics I mentioned will carry over into their education, jobs, family, and whatever career they choose. Our youth are our future, and if the Regina Sports Hall of Fame can help our youth be successful in their life, that is a win-win for all of us. If you've ever been involved in a team sport, we all know how very important it is to work together as a team. Teamwork is essential to having success, and that is no different with Regina Sports Hall of Fame. We are made up of executive board members who do so much work behind the scenes to make this hall a huge success. Thank you for attending tonight to support our 2018 inductees and the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. Again, like any sport in the world, it is really just a sport. There's wins, there's losses, there's competition, hard competition. But what makes a sport successful is the fans and the supporters, and that's where all of you come in. Thanks again for all of us coming together as a team and making this year's induction ceremony a huge success. Enjoy the evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Frank. Time now to induct the latest class in the 2018 Regina Sports Hall of Fame, starting first with Kia Scholar Byers, an athlete in the sport of sprint kayak. Kia got a start in paddling at the tender age of 9 after watching the Wascana Racing Canoe Club's annual Canada Day Regatta with her father. He asked the coach if she could join, and when she tried it, she was hooked. And from there, it certainly didn't take very long for Kia to separate herself from the pack. She qualified to represent the Wascana Racing Canoe Club for the Canadian Championships from 2001 through 2010, except in the instances when her national team obligations kept her from competing in 2008. Through the 9 championships, she won 39 medals, including 15 golds. She was a member of Team Saskatchewan at the 2001 Canada Games in London, Ontario, winning a bronze in the K4 500 meter event, and competed as a junior member of the National Development Team in 2002. Kia represented Canada 15 times at World Championships, Pan American Games, and Pan American Championships, winning a total of 10 medals and advancing to 12 other finals. She first had the opportunity to don the maple leaf in 2005 when she raced at the Junior World Championships in Hungary, competing in the K4 500 and K2 1000 meter events, placing 6th and 8th respectively. At the 2007 Pan American Games in Rio de Janeiro, Byers paired up with Marie-Christine Schmidt to win a gold medal in the women's K2 500 meter event. She attended several international events after being named to the under-23 development team and nearly qualified for the 2008 Olympic Games. In 2009, she won a bronze medal in the K1 4x200 meter event at the 2009 Sprint World Championships in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Her results in 2011's World Championships earned her a spot on the Canadian women's kayak team, and a strong performance in the K1 200 meter event at the 2011 Pan American Games would have qualified her for the 2012 Olympics. However, an injury prevented her from racing and convinced her to retire in 2014. Like so many of our inductees, she shows loyalty to her local club by training extensively in Regina and racing regularly with the promising up-and-coming athletes. She's volunteered as a support staff member for the 2009 Canada Games and as a member of Canoe Kayak Saskatchewan's board, helping with high performance to grassroots to Indigenous programs before serving as executive director. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the newest inductee to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, Kia Scholar Byers.
A good trip down memory lane. It's funny, my husband was asking my 5-year-old son, where are you guys going? So, oh, Mom's getting inducted into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. And, 5-year-olds. And my husband's like, well, you know, she used to paddle, and this is recognizing what she did, and well, that's not that exciting. So he is not here. He's at home watching movies, and he's way happier. But it is really hard to summarize all that sport has brought into my life. I started when I was 9, dreaming of being an Olympian, and I have met some of the greatest people in the world, and a lot of them are in this room, which is pretty awesome. And I feel very, very honored. It's definitely hard to thank everyone. They tell you you have 4 minutes, 5 before they turn on the music, and you obviously have to go through a lot, the lists of people that you've encountered in 20 years of sport. I guess I'll start with Steph, because I don't know if I would have made it very far without her. She's here, and when I was a little girl, I was 12 years old, she was the idol at the canoe club. She was breaking the ground for us. And she used to ask us in the basement of the Campbell weight room who was training harder, us or the rest of the country. And as I got bigger, the question became who was training harder, me or the rest of the world. And anytime I didn't want to get up at 5 a.m. and go and jump in a cold pool or go and lift ridiculously heavy weights that Dave made us lift at 5:45, I would think about that. And so that has always resonated and impacted my life. And now it has become slightly different, but I always want to do the best that I can. And so that continues to shape my path. The next person I'll thank is Dave. Because without you, Dave, I would just be a booger picking whatever you used to call us when we jump out of war canoe instead of training. Dave was my coach when I was 10. And then he was my coach again when I made the national team when I was 19. And Dave took countless hours, and his wife, Devery, thank you for letting him do yearly training plans over and over until he decided they were perfect and we would get ourselves as close to the podium as we possibly could. You turned me into an athlete that I don't think I knew I was capable of becoming, and I really appreciate that. And then there's my family. And we all know without our family behind us that we probably wouldn't have taken the steps in the beginning, let alone the steps that we took as athletes. So there's my siblings who spent way more hours at Wascana Park than they ever would have dreamed. I used to paddle loops of the lake, obviously, because you have to do more than one stretch to become very good. And they would go around the lake. And so at the Mushroom, I would see my siblings on a rock, and then they would be over by the bridge, and then they would be in the little bluff that had a break on the far end of the lake where the finish line was. And they didn't know it, but I always trained harder when they were there because I wanted them to think their big sister was cool. Probably still trying, but it won't work. My sister used to insult me with style. Just saying. And then my littlest sister, who didn't have to do quite as many laps around the lake, but my whole family came to the 2009 World Championships in Nova Scotia, and I was lucky enough to make the podium at the World Championships. And there were hundreds of people there, because in Nova Scotia, paddling is the sport. It's like going to a Rider game. And we got on the podium, and I couldn't find my family. I would have no idea where they were, but they were the only people I wanted to see. And up pops my 4-year-old little sister, and she goes, "Kia diarrhea!" But I knew exactly where my family was. So it was good. So thank you. But forever, you will be Kanzi. And my husband. You've been with me since I was 15. And you were the person I called when I cried and I didn't think I could do it. And I'd be in a lot of places, and it's funny how doubt creeps into your mind, even though you've trained and trained and trained and you've taken all the strokes and you've put in all the hours, but every once in a while you have that person you need to call. And no matter what time it was or where you were, you always picked up the phone. And I love you. And then there's your mom and your dad. So I know my parents sacrificed a lot for me. And I don't think you could ever say thank you enough to explain it. But as a kid, so when I was in grade 8 and grade 9, I would train 11 times in 5.5 days. And my parents even let me play high school basketball. So let's add on 6 more practices. And they had to drive me because I was I wasn't around to take driver's ed when you're supposed to take driver's ed, so then I couldn't get my driver's license, and so I couldn't drive for a really long time. And my dad he would pick up my mom from work, because she's a nurse, at midnight, and then he would get up at 5 and drive me to swimming, and he would sleep in the car while I swam with his park on, because he didn't want to run the car the whole time. And my parents, anytime that they would drop me off, I'd say, oh, thank you, because I was polite. And they'd always say, oh, you'll get the bill. Finally, as I got older, I was like, what is this bill? Like, I'm never going to pay for this thing. What are you going to charge me? And my dad used to joke, and my mom would say, well, if you win an Olympic medal, make sure you thank us. But I didn't get an Olympic medal, but I'd like to thank you. And know that nothing you did went unnoticed, even if I was a bratty teenager and didn't say thank you. So thank you to all of you, and to all of you, and to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. And I'm sure I took more than my 4 minutes, but yes, I am eternally grateful.
Our next inductee into the 2018 Regina Sports Hall of Fame is Doug Folk, a builder in the sport of hockey. Doug began coaching his daughter's teams as an assistant back in 1995 and progressed through the ranks. Started off as a novice coach, then became an Atom coach. Not surprisingly, a Pee Wee coach followed, and it was a Bantam coach and a midget coach. He advanced through the National Coaches Certification Program and was appointed a Sask First Zone coach to develop Saskatchewan's under-18 teams for the National Championships and the Canada Winter Games, ultimately helping to coach both of those squads. He was the inaugural coach of the Regina Rebels when they joined the then newly formed Saskatchewan Midget Female AAA Hockey League in 2006-2007, stepping aside as a head coach to become an assistant for 3 seasons after winning a league and regional championship in 2013, one of 2 times that the Regina Rebels have participated in the national championships. He was the Saskatchewan Midget Female AAA Hockey League Coach of the Year in 2008 and 2009. The Rebels, under his leadership, won the prestigious Max tournament in 2012. He's a former hockey player himself and a teacher whose experiences helped develop female hockey in the province by emphasizing academics, life skills, and physical fitness, in addition to honing on-ice abilities. Doug has received the Distinguished Humanitarian and Community Service Award back in 2010 as part of the University of Regina's Alumni Crowning Achievement Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, it brings me great honor to present the newest inductee into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, Doug Folk.
Thank you, Chris and Frank. Good evening, and thank you to all who are here tonight to recognize the accomplishments of all of the inductees to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. Personally, I'm very grateful to Grant Finley for nominating me, Julie Waldo for the supporting letters written by Emma Waldenberger, Kim Perpelak, Lynn Tulloch, and Todd Dixon. Thank you for doing that. A special thanks to the selection committee for deciding that my contributions to our community were noteworthy enough to be selected for the Regina Sports Hall of Fame as a builder in the sport of female hockey. Recently, I was reading a quote, a young female athlete who was asked about a crushing defeat in her competition. She replied to the reporter, "I never lose, I either win or I learn." I thought this was such a simple yet powerful quote as to what sport can do for a young person's development. In my 23 years of coaching female hockey in Regina, our team's emphasis was always on the process. We would say, we'll get the desired results if you focus on the process of structured preparation, commitment to learning, and bring a passion to the rink every day. If you learn to appreciate and respect the game, you'll be the recipient of the many benefits it can deliver. While the athletes we coached had various desires and motivation to participate, we continued to focus on the here and now. Hockey contributes so much to the development of a person, whether it is teaching her a skill or a strategy. It all comes down to the level of sacrifice a player is willing to give in order to succeed. The optimum result for us as coaches is trying to transfer that trait into the individual's life away from the rink. What inspired me to coach female hockey was a feeling that, as was previously mentioned, had something to offer the athletes due to my professional background as a teacher and also as a player in the sport. I had 2 daughters who were interested in playing hockey, and I recognized, certainly as we attempted to get coaches involved in the female program, that most hockey coaches were more interested in coaching on the male side rather than with the female programs. When I started coaching hockey in Regina in 1992, we had 2 novice all-female teams in Hockey Regina. Due to the hard work of many individuals, female hockey grew in this city and in the province. I was given the opportunity to build and coach the Regina Rebels for 9 years. In 2006, the Rebels were launched as Regina's female AAA midget hockey team entry into the newly formed Saskatchewan Female AAA League. Tremendous growth in the sport in such a short period of time. During my years as coach with the Regina Rebels and with the support of hockey administrators, managers, and a team of extremely dedicated coaches, we achieved many accomplishments. Some were outlined tonight. Certainly were highlighted by qualifying for 2 ESO Cup national championships, one of which the Rebel organization and Hockey Regina, Saskatchewan Hockey Association, very successfully hosted in Regina in what was our new rink over here at the Cooperators. None of these accomplishments would have been possible without the support of so many parents and players who had put their trust in us as coaches and in our program of development. For many years, I also coached teams with the SAS First program and the Saskatchewan Female Hockey Group, and that culminated as a coach with the 2014 Canada Winter Games in Halifax. Coaching sport at an elite level, as many of you in the room know, requires a great deal of time away from home. Thank you to my wife, Jan, my daughters, Julie, Allie, and Melissa, for your support during my time volunteering as a hockey coach. The nucleus of every successful sport program lies within the group of coaches, managers, and players, the real meat and potatoes of the team. Several of the Regina Rebels hockey team I worked with are here tonight. To all of you, thank you. It was a wonderful journey. Teams are about people and the friendships that last a lifetime that are created through our involvement in sport. I accept this recognition on behalf of all of those who supported female hockey and the development of the program in this city. Thank you, Regina Sports Hall of Fame. It is truly an honor to become a member. Thank you.
Our next inductee into the 2018 Regina Sports Hall of Fame is Ross Richardson, a builder in the sport of racquetball. Back in 1988, Ross started setting up learn-to-play programs and competitive opportunities at the Regina Court and Fitness Club for youth of all abilities and continued those programs until 2016. He has taught racquetball to thousands of high school students as part of their gym classes. Ross is a certified Level 3 coach and was on Canada's staff for the 2007, 2009, and 2010 World Junior Championships. He continues as a certified national team coach, coaching his daughter Christine, who herself was a former World Junior Champion and has been on the podium 15 times at Canadian Championships. Ross was elected a member of the Saskatchewan Racquetball Association Board for 25 years, serving in a variety of capacities before retiring as the High Performance Director in 2014. He's chaired several Racquetball Canada committees and served on other committees to acquire and distribute funding for local athletes and associations. Ross has organized provincial tournaments and volunteered for committees hosting national championships here in Regina, and recently, in 2017, received the Ivan Villan Award, which is Racquetball Canada's most prestigious honor for his longtime contributions to the sport on a local, provincial, and national level. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the newest inductee to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, Ross Richardson.
Good evening, everyone. Congratulations to Carol and to Doug and to Kia and Lucas and Glenn for your accomplishments shown tonight. 38 years ago, when I first started playing racquetball, I certainly didn't expect this honor. My racquetball year started innocently enough. Occasionally, friends and I would gather Saturday and Sunday mornings at Regina Court and Fitness Club. I guess at that point in time, it was Regina Court Club. Usually, we would go at club opening, and we'd play on the show court, which had a glass back and a glass side wall. One particular Sunday morning, I noticed that people were starting to gather at the glass walls and also at the second floor balcony of the viewing area. And then I started to think, they're watching us. We must be pretty good. A short time later, we were asked to leave the court because players needed to warm up. The finals of the Saskatchewan Open Racquetball Championship were about to begin. So it became very clear nobody was there to watch us. But I stuck around that Sunday morning, and I watched some of the best players in Western Canada and the bordering states play. I watched Cliff Hendrickson, Wayne Bowes, Wes Haddican, Bob Daku, Don Scadland, and my own racquetball hero, Roel Thompson. I became hooked that Sunday morning. I began practicing and playing more, entering local tournaments, and eventually the national championships on occasion. I also started to take my turn organizing local, regional, and national tournaments when they came to Regina. My wife Karen and I became parents. When our children were old enough, we did what most parents do. We introduced our children, Graham and Christine, to the sports that we played. Karen's sport was basketball, and she was very passionate about basketball. So their basketball career started with the Little Tykes hoop, went through the Community League basketball, and then on to high school basketball. They had the best of both worlds, playing a team sport and an individual sport. And both were about 6 years old when they first hit a racquetball, and they took to the game very, very quickly. And both looked forward to playing in the junior provincial tournaments across the province. They had success on the court, but more importantly, they had lots of fun and met many friends from across Canada when playing. Thinking back, I think it was the success they had playing in the provincial tournaments or the junior nationals or the World Junior Championships, which was leading and dragging me along through my career in racquetball. They were so eager to play, and I was so eager to support them. Because my passion for racquetball rubbed off on them, it was a very easy effort on my part to organize development programs, tournaments, and work through the national certification program to become a national team coach. The 38 years that I've put in have gone by very quickly. I'd like to thank Saskatchewan Racquetball Association, Sask Sport, Racquetball Canada for the support and opportunities that they have given over the years. And I was asked to provide some pictures for tonight's induction ceremony. And when I looked at all the pictures, they brought back so many memories and made the years so worthwhile. The girls and boys who participated in the junior programs came for various reasons. Some needed a little bit more physical activity. Some because they wanted to try a new sport. Some because maybe their parents or a relative had played racquetball. Some came in very outgoing and full of enthusiasm, and some were shy and reserved. And a number of the young girls and boys took to the game of racquetball and decided to try to get as good as they could be. Some became provincial or national or world champions. Some who came in shy and lacking confidence found something at which they excelled and became strong and were very proud of their accomplishments. Some of the young girls and boys which you see in some of the pictures that have played, they're from across Canada. And in those pictures, they were somewhere in their teens, and now they'd be in their late 20s or their early 30s. And they're very, very successful now in their business careers. And I think a lot of the dedication and diligence they put into racquetball certainly helped them. And getting to know these athletes over the years and seeing them turn into strong young women and men has been very, very rewarding. and I hope in some measure that I have had the opportunity to have a positive influence on their lives. Thank you.
Our next inductee into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is Carol Chernyshenko, a builder in the sport of synchronized swimming. Carol began her affiliation in synchronized swimming as a computer scorer before becoming the board member, vice president of finance and administration, a chief referee, website coordinator, competitions chair, scoring chair, and vice president of sport development, serving on committees overseeing grassroots, athletes with disabilities, adult masters, coaching, technical, long-term athlete development, high performance, and officials. Carol also served with Regina Synchro in several roles, including a stint as president. She works closely with meet managers, annually updating the meet management guide, preparing information packages with the technical directors, coordinating high-performance trials and processing registrations. She does draws, scoring sheets, results and summaries, updates the rule book, numerous documents designed to help other volunteers. She was responsible for the redesign of the website and communicates regularly with Synchro Canada regarding the scoring system. Over the years, Carol has been recognized for her contributions to synchronized swimming by various organizations and sport governing bodies. She won the Synchro Saskatchewan Volunteer Service Award in 2004, was recognized as their Volunteer of the Year in 2007, Volunteer Special Merit Service Award winner in 2009, and the Volunteer Honor Service Award winner in 2010. She was also bestowed with the Synchro Canada Certificate of Merit in 2011 and was the Sask Sport Volunteer of the Year in 2014 for her involvement as an administrator, an official, and a scorekeeper. She currently serves on Sask Sport's board and functioning funding committee. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the newest inductee into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, Carol Chernyshenko.
Thank you to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame for this honor. Thank you to Synchro Saskatchewan for the nomination. It was a total surprise. When Frank called me, I was stunned. Me, inducted into a Sports Hall of Fame. It's actually quite surreal. I am not an athlete. I am not a coach. I am not a synchronized swimmer. I can't even claim to be a swimmer. So music is my thing, not sports. So how did I get here? Well, fortunately, the builder category includes officials and administrators. That's what I am. So it started back in 1999 when my daughter, who is the first couple of pictures there, not me, she asked if she could go to a free See It, Try It session with Regina Synchro. She came out of the pool with a big smile on her face. Did you like it? Yes. Would you like to try it again? Yes. Should we sign up for lessons? Yes. That was the start of her synchronized swimming career. I didn't realize it was also the start of my synchronized swimming career. So, she swam 2 years rec, 8 years competitive, including Saskatchewan Summer Games and Canada Winter Games, plus 1 year with the University of Calgary Dinos synchro team. I continued on without her. So I never planned any of this. I didn't know what synchronized swimming was, other than what I saw on TV watching the Olympics. This whole world of sport was a mystery to me. My only thought was to support my kids in whatever activities they actually chose. So when the club asked for volunteers, I said yes. It was as simple as that. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I thought I could figure it out. Sometimes I said yes because someone asked. Sometimes I saw a need and fulfilled that need. And sometimes I got involved just because I wanted to learn something new. That's why my resume is so varied. I didn't do that all in 1 year. It took a long time to go through all that, but it just kind of grew from one to the next, to the next, to the next. It was so much fun. It also meant crazy hours, working many late nights. Some were actually quite late, and writing lots of meetings, and traveling to competitions on a Friday night than being at the pool for 20 hours over the weekend and heading home again afterwards. So thank you to my husband for taking care of the rest of the family while I was off doing my thing. So I did all this work, but it was so much fun. We have fantastic people throughout this province. It starts with our athletes. I get to watch them grow from young and scared, often with that deer in the headlight look, to mature, skilled, and confident athletes. The coaches are tremendous. They grow our sport of synchronized swimming in their community. They develop their own skills while developing the skills of their athletes. I can't say enough about the parents who volunteer wherever the competition is located, not just in their hometown. And the host club who works tirelessly to create a great event for everyone. I am very privileged to be part of the officials community in Saskatchewan. They are the best, and they are recognized across Canada as such. Of course, the SynchroSAF staff is there for all of us. I certainly couldn't do it alone. Although I said yes to volunteer by myself, I was always supported by others. Every step of the way, someone was there to mentor me, whether they knew it or not. Just a few names because I can't mention everyone. Amanda Lewis, Diane Lemon, Sandy Roberts, and Pat Taylor. It may have been a small comment along the way, or being a strong role model. But each of these women played a part in developing who I am as an official and an administrator. Amateur sports always needs volunteers, right? Without volunteers, there is no sport. I am proof you don't need to be an athlete. You don't need to know the sport to get involved. I found an awesome group of volunteers in synchro, which is an amazing sport. Try it, it's fabulous. Just say yes. It is so rewarding, you'll have the time of your life. Thank you.
Our next inductee into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is Lucas Makowski, an athlete in the sport of long track speed skating. Lucas started speed skating back in 1993 at age 6 with his brother after his parents suggested it at dinner one evening. It was an ice sport to try instead of hockey, but it soon became the extracurricular activity that took precedence over everything else. As is the case with many of our athletes, it didn't take long for Lucas to separate himself from the rest of the herd. He won 5 gold medals at the 2002 Saskatchewan Winter Games. He was the Canadian Junior Champion in 2006, which qualified him for a spot at the 2006 Junior World Championships in Germany, where he registered a top 10 performance. Lucas was the National Senior Champion at the 10,000 meter distance in 2009, the 5,000 meter event in 2009 through 2011, and again in 2013, and the 1,500 meter event in 2010. Internationally, he has competed in 43 World Cup competitions as a member of Team Canada, a 6-time participant at the World All-Round Championships, which was highlighted by a silver medal in 2010 at 1,500 meters. He represented Canada in the men's team pursuit at the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver, teaming up with Denny Morrison and Matthew Giroux to win a gold medal. They set an Olympic record in the quarterfinal victory over the defending Olympic champions from Italy, and then established a new Olympic benchmark in the semifinal win over Norway before defeating the Americans by 21/100ths of a second to win gold. Lucas also competed in the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi, but we won't talk about that. He was the Sask Sport Male Athlete of the Year in 2009. He was the Speed Skating Canada Male Athlete of the Year in 2011, and was also the winner of the Ukrainian-Canadian Congress Shevchenko Medal in 2013. Off ice, Lucas gives back to the community that helped him develop, establishing the Lucas Makowski Award at Wilfred Walker School to perpetuate the positive impact that athletes has on the school and the community. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the newest member of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, Lucas Makowski.
To Chris's note about not talking about Sochi, that's where we finished 4th in the team pursuit. It's always a pleasure to be back in the Queen City, especially on such a special night like tonight. As many of you know, I've been living in Calgary now for the last 13 years after the sport of speed skating led me there back in 2005. But as you all know, and like they say, there's no place like home. So being inducted tonight into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is an absolute honor. Kia and Glenn, our other two athlete inductees this evening, congratulations on all of your accomplishments. Kia, you not only understand the stresses, but also the triumphs of international competition. And Glenn, from what I've heard about some of the news clips lately, you're one of the greatest U of R basketball players to ever step on the court. But when I think back on my humble beginnings here in Regina, starting out young with the Regina Speed Skating Club, it takes me back to the times before when I started to see success in my athletic career. We all know that so much more goes into an athlete's success than their own sole efforts on the day of the competition. The numerous volunteer coaches out there who help ensure that the team has somebody to lead them, or the countless volunteer hours spent by all of the other parents and volunteers ensuring that there's a community built around fair play and opportunity. These are the people who are often not recognized as often as they should be. So on a night like tonight, I do want to give my special thanks and congratulations to our three builders, Doug, Ross, and Carol, for everything that you've done to help ensure that athletes like Kia, Glenn, and myself have the opportunities to dream big and to accomplish great things. You all serve as outstanding examples for everyone who is part of Regina sporting communities, to give their time and to provide invaluable opportunities for all of our youth. Thank you to everyone who traveled near and far to be here this evening, to my dad, to my lovely fiance, and my soon-to-be parents-in-law, for all of your heartfelt support. Thanks to everybody in the Regina and broader speed skating communities in Saskatchewan for all of your support over the decades. My grade 7 elementary school teacher who reached out randomly this past week after hearing about the induction. It's a special connection that things like tonight bring. To Jordan for putting forward my nomination to begin with, and to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. Wouldn't be here without it. Thanks again to everybody tonight. Thank you.
Our final inductee to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame this evening is Glenn Nelson, an athlete in the sport of basketball. Glenn was the University of Regina President's Award winner in 1985, which is bestowed upon the top graduating male athlete. Some 30-plus years after the completion of his playing days at the University of Regina, Glenn's name still litters the team record books. He finished his collegiate career as the Cougars' all-time scoring and rebounding leader, amassing 1,422 points and picking up 723 rebounds through 79 career games. His rebound total still stands as the all-time mark for Cougar basketball, and his 9.2 rebounds per game remains the benchmark for the team, as his 568 field goals occupies the top rung on the Cougars' all-time stats ladder as well. Glenn was a 4-time team MVP and a 3-time conference all-star, playing his high school basketball at Martin Collegiate until 1975. He won Saskatchewan Winter Games gold in 1978, made the under-21 provincial team for the Canadian Championships, and won senior men's city and provincial championships in 1979 with the Regina Chokers. Following the completion of his collegiate career, Glenn played professionally in Australia, returning home to win city and provincial senior championships with the Regina Shamrocks from 1986 through 1988. Glenn resumed his pro career in Germany and Austria before rejoining the Shamrock sports program for 8 more city championships between 1991 and 1999, and another city championship with the Skiziks. He spent 1 season coaching a professional women's team in Austria and coached his daughter in community league and high school basketball, later becoming an assistant coach at Winston Knoll. A longtime official in the high school and community basketball ranks in Regina, he was also a scorekeeper for Regina men's basketball. Now, as many of you in the room may know, Glenn has battled a number of health issues in recent years, including a cancer battle that he is currently undergoing treatment for. We are delighted that Glenn could be here with us this evening in order for us to acknowledge his significant contributions to the Regina sports landscape. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the newest inductee to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, Glenn Nelson.
really dangerous for them to let me do this last, because I'm pretty much a chatty Cathy. So all my basketball buddies and friends over in that area, they're already they're putting their coats on. They're going to leave pretty soon. See if I can get through this. Of course, I left it till today to do this. Let's see. Oh, my name is Glenn, and I'm an Oh, that's the wrong speech. Oops. I would first like to thank the Regina Sports Hall of Fame for this honor, and to congratulate my fellow inductees whose accomplishments and contributions to sport make it a privilege to be part of that class, this class. I'd like to, I'm just blown away by what these other nominees have done. And yeah, wow. But I got something that they don't have. 46 years ago, I found my passion. It was more like I stumbled into it because I was a snotty little grade 9 kid getting to school instead of at 8 o'clock. I'd get there at 7 o'clock, and just, I wasn't a good student, so I don't know what the hell I was doing. The phys ed teacher would throw the basketball out, and a sweaty game of pickup basketball would start. Of course, we'd be wearing our bell-bottom jeans and go shirtless, and so we were sweaty all day and looking like scrubby rats, but I was hooked. I love basketball so much. It's ingrained in me, and it is, I'm so lucky. So lucky. I sit here as a blessed man. Over the last 5 years, I've had a lot of time to reflect on all facets of my life. And my basketball journey has been one of a kind for sure. I loved all facets of it. For the most part, I had people open the door for me. I just fell into things so lucky. And I didn't realize it until this last 5 years, and I started reflecting on what my life has been like. And I've been so lucky. I can't believe it. As a blessed man with a deep passion for this beautiful game, I went to Martin Collegiate, and a gentleman, our coach was Gord Burgess, helped me in the game tremendously and taught me the game. I don't really want to talk so much about myself. Frank said it all. But Gord had helped me through the grade 11 and 12 years. And after graduation, I somehow found myself trying out for a team sponsored by the Downtown Optimist. And again, I had great coaches, Rob Hornsberger, Gary Corbin, and good teammates. So again, I fell into a great situation. We all were like brothers at that time. Then the floodgate opened. After my run with the Optimists, I was blessed to play with the top senior men's team, the Shamrock, with Glenn Ficula, Ray Jacoby, Darryl Puskas, and Terry Burns, who were responsible for pushing me. Well, actually, yeah, they pushed me. It was a foul, too, to get better. And I owe a lot to them for that. I just had so much fun. I played every game I played. I loved it. I had so much fun. Upon reflection, the highlights would be my playing with the U of R Cougars under Coach Ken Murray my last 3 years, and with our point guard Mark Benish and Warren Ponsack, who's here today. We had such a great chemistry on the court that we played 5 years all together. During those years, Ken would market me to get the attention nationally for recruiting stronger players and get the worldwide Canada to recognize that the Cougars are up and going. My last year, I was blessed to play against Chris Beegler. Chris had been playing with the U of S, and for whatever reason, I don't know why, he came home, and he had to sit out a year, but he could practice with the team. And Chris Beegler is the all-time greatest athlete that came out of the Cougars. He's in the Hall of Fame a few years ago, and he was by far and away the best player ever. And again, playing against Chris every day made me a better player. And I really believe that our team began the building blocks to the program that it is today. After my professional career, and I settled back here in Regina, in 1992 and 94, I was blessed with two beautiful daughters, Alexis and Katie. I was steering them really hard to basketball, and they went to volleyball. It's not a contact sport, what the heck? Broke my heart, but they both received scholarship offers in the United States. And actually this year, Katie it's her last year of playing, and November I'll be heading down to Ohio to senior night, which is a big deal down there, their last home game. So I'm really, really excited for that. After I retired from playing, I began reffing, and when the Regina Regina Association of Basketball Officials found out, I'm sure they must have fallen over, because I was a bit of a hard to handle on the court sometimes. I get really excited. But it was, after my first high school games that I refereed, I was honestly remorseful for being a butt. I never said anything personal to them. I didn't say anything, but I bent their ear lots. So people like Ross Brogner, Marty Ponzak, to name a few, helped me out and developed my refereeing career. And I proudly wear my ref jacket tonight. Now my basketball team over here, they're going to beat me up in the parking lot for this, that's for sure. Let's see. Again, I feel like a blessed man sitting before you. In 2013, wasn't the best for me, as in July 1st, I broke my back out of the blue. Just swung a golf club at the driving range, and my back went into spasms. When news got out, after my surgery in November, what happened was it wasn't the spasms that paralyzed me, it was the shabby work of the doctor, and that he left me paralyzed in this situation. I ended up staying for almost 9 months in Wascana Hospital. But when the news got out, the stream of people came to see me, from my inner circle of friends to people that I only met a couple of times, and they heard about me, what had happened. Everybody came and was asking, what can they do? Can they do anything? And it was really, they couldn't do anything but just support me, come see me and stuff. My best big buddy, Mike Monterana, who's here tonight, has been with me literally every day and supporting me. And we talk about who's been a better basketball player and who's faster, who's better looking, that sort of stuff. But then I realized that there were many ways for people to help me. Pray for me, send powerful, positive energy to me. I'm a positive person, and the more I get, the better I feel. I forgave the surgeon who paralyzed me, as I didn't want to carry that negative energy with me, and after 9 months in the Wascana, I settled into my wheelchair-friendly condo, which again, I was lucky because I had put an offer on it, and they didn't accept it. And 3 months later, the price dropped like $10,000, and I got it. So that was great. I felt lucky to be able to take care of myself in my wheelchair on a daily basis. I suffer from chronic nerve pain from when the doctor hit my nerve and my spinal cord. So it's very challenging. But I made a promise, and I try to get to the YMCA every month. As you can see, the biceps, the gun show. And how about that perm? That was $20 out of a box. And it worked. So I began coaching at Winston Knoll Collegiate as a friend of mine was coaching there. And he asked me, and it was just down the block from where I lived. So I helped him out as much as I physically could, depending on the pain I was going through that day. And I started refereeing, or started keeping score at the men's league at Riffle, just to keep my foot in the door. My motto had changed tremendously, that I started to realize that this wasn't, the situation that I'm in, receiving this honor isn't a whole lot of me, it's the people around me that set me up and marketed me and took care of me, and I'm so blessed. I try to make each day a positive moment. Life is made up of moments, and what you put in, you get out. Now, the gong show happened. To go one more time, in September 2017, I broke my left femur pulling my pants on. And it just cracked, snapped. It was just the worst feeling. I didn't feel it, but it was when I went, what have I done now? So I got my pants on then, and I drove myself to the Pasqua and told them that I broke my leg, and they nearly fell over too. So since September to now, I've basically been home about maybe 5 weeks in total, off and on. So I'm sure glad that within the next couple of weeks, I hope that I'll be home. In November of 27, I broke my neck. And that's the time, at that time, they found that I had tumors all throughout my bones. And that they started doing biopsies, and they didn't really know what was causing it. It wasn't lymphoma, it wasn't this, it wasn't that, but I was in the hospital anyways because I broke my arm in January. I broke this arm, so I have rods all through me. And then just to have some more fun, I was home 3 days and I broke my left collarbone. So it's been a challenge. They did find out finally, after many biopsies and through labs across North America, that I've been diagnosed with a rare form of sarcoma. And today I'm in the middle of my last round of chemo. I've been in remission since my first treatment of chemotherapy, but we're continuing, we just hammer it every day. After I recover, we give it a few weeks and we hit it again. So I know without a doubt, oh geez, hour. Oh, there. I know without a doubt that I've kicked this cancer. I've got it made, and I'm going to celebrate like no other. That's for sure. So I'll end this speech, and if it sounds like a bunch of babble, I'm blaming it on my mushy chemo brain. My daughter always says, I ask her something, and she said, I told you yesterday, Dad. It's like, I have no idea. So this is such an unbelievable honor for me. Thank you, Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you to all my support. That has helped me through my life. And I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. And please make a memorable moment. Don't sweat the small stuff. You know, enjoy life. God bless you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the induction class of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame 2018.